Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Combat Sports UK YouTube channel. I'm Jared Miller and it's a pleasure to be joined this afternoon by top Scottish prospect and BMF amateur Youcef Whilelaw. Youcef, how are we today, mate?
How you doing, my man? I'm all good.
Yeah, all good here. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to come on today. I know you're a very busy man. 2 fights coming up in the next month. But first off, BMF 7, October the 7th, going to be taking on Caleb Mullin. How are preparations going for that fight so far?
Aye, good, mate. Just as usual, just training as usual. Nothing's really changed.
And obviously, you've had a bit of a change of opponent. I was wondering if that's, come into your factors coming into this fight. Has that affected training at all? Has it affected the schedule?
No, it's not affected training, mate. It's the same as always, really.
Yeah. And how do you see Mullin as an opponent, maybe more from a technical standpoint?
He's like a sort of long-range striker, but I don't think he's got much brains.
No? Don't see much brains there at all?
Nah, man, he does nice stuff. He looks good, but watching his previous fights, I don't think he's got the best IQ.
Do you think it's a step up or a step down from your last opponents?
On paper. But it's amateur, mate. Everybody's shite.
Fair enough, mate. 2-0 in your amateur career so far. 2 decision wins as well. How are you enjoying your time in the amateurs? As you said there, maybe the opponents aren't the standard that you want to be fighting at the minute, but how have you found your time so far?
I'm enjoying it, mate. I'm enjoying getting my bearings, getting used to the cage, getting some cage time in. I train like a professional, but so it's like a test run for the pro scene, essentially.
Yeah, and last time out, you beat Zaman by a split decision in his kind of hometown, if you like. It was a very close fight. I believe you just edged it personally. What have you learned from that fight, and what can you take in to this next one? Well, these next 2 coming up from that one.
So my approach to the previous 2 fights has probably been off. I'm going in too slow. I'm used to 5-minute rounds in the gym.
Yeah,
and I'm fighting quite cerebral sparring partners. So I probably went in too calculated, especially in the first rounds I've come in. I'm just looking to get my range and get my bearings, whereas other people are just rushing in and look to fight straight away. So my approach has definitely changed, and you'll see that in the next one.
But it's interesting you mentioned that, because what I've been impressed so far in your career is the level of the level of grappling you've been coming into it with. Your opponents, kind of the levels you've been going into it at, the scrambles, the clinch game has produced, some really exciting exchanges. Is that something you pride yourself on? Obviously, you're also a very talented striker to the side of that as well.
I don't even really think I've showed much, to be honest. I've showed that defensively my grappling's quite good. I've not really struggled with anybody. I mean, the first round, that last fight, Zaman was quite annoying to deal with because he was just quite relentless with wanting to take it to the ground. But I've showed that it's pretty difficult to get it there if that's your game plan. But offensively, I don't think I've really showed much, especially with the striking.
Well, both fights have been very close, but what you've seemed to do is turn it on in the latter stages, especially in those third rounds where you've really come into your own. Again, is that stamina, is that a strong aspect you see in your game personally?
I don't know, mate. I don't know if I'd put it down to stamina. Well, I'm used to doing like sparring wise, I'm used to doing like 6-5, 7-5s every Friday and Sunday. So I'm used to fighting for a long time, essentially. So I don't know if it's stamina, but I definitely need to bring that aggression into the first rounds rather than waiting to the end.
You think training those 5 rounds in the gym is going to hold you in better stead in the long run, even though you're kind of seeing it maybe as a slight negative now?
For sure. I mean, we train hard at higher level, you know what I mean? I'm training against a good caliber.
Yeah, and at high level MMA, as you've just mentioned, the gym you train at, people will know it best for fighters like Paul Craig at the minute, I've just forgotten his name. What is the daily atmosphere like, around the gym?
It's buzzing in the gym, mate.
Yeah. Does it change
buzzing.
at all for somebody like you going into a fight, or is it still that same crack on a day-to-day basis?
No, nothing really changes, mate. Everybody's high on life at higher level, mate. We've all got big plans.
Yeah. And do you think the gym in itself, do you think that focuses on the mental aspect of the game as well as the physical things you've got to go in with?
Nah, mate, it's not as if we're sitting there doing like mental reps or
Yeah.
anything like that. I think that's people do that in their own time. Like, I know a lot of boys meditate and that. I'm constantly, my brain's constantly ticking. I'm constantly thinking about things, but
Yeah.
we're not in there preparing mentally. We're just training hard.
And as we previously mentioned, you've got another fight on October 21st coming up. It's in a different promotion, but are those two fights in quick succession? Is that you looking to be as active as possible in the next couple months?
Aye, mate. Well, that'll have been my fourth fight in 6 months. That one
Yeah.
on October 21st. And I only made my debut in April. So I think that's good activity. I want to keep that going forward. That'll probably be my last fight this year. I'll maybe look to go again in March.
Yeah. And I'm assuming you won't want to stay in the amateurs forever, especially if you keep on winning and putting these very good victories in succession. But I was wondering, is there anything you'd like to achieve, especially in BMF, before moving on to maybe the professional side?
Oh, I've got mega goals for amateur. Mega goals. Next year, when I come to Paisley, when I do that Scotland show, I'd definitely like to get that belt. If not before then, if I can get it in March, that would be ideal, and defend it in Paisley. But I'm getting that BMF belt next year, and we'll just go touring around the promotions, scooping up belts. I want to win the Four Nations as well. I think that would be nice, the way kind of Lorenzo's done it, where he's won the Four Nations and then went pro. I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah. And have you? Yeah.
So I'd like to get about 12, 15 fights in before thinking about going pro.
Okay. Good to hear. And have you got any long-term goals you wouldn't mind sharing with us in terms of your career as a whole?
Sky's the limit, mate. Be here all day. I'd fight abroad, fight for world championships. You know what I mean? Fight for millions. That's the goal, man.
Yeah. And finally, how would you like to be remembered at come the end of your career? How are you going into your career right now, thinking that's how I want to fight?
I don't know, mate. I'm not really asked about how people remember me. I just want to. It's more about me, bro. Innit? It's more about what I want to achieve. I'm not giving a fuck what other people think about that. But I hope people remember me as a good fighter. That's about it, man.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to speak to me again. Best
Thank
of luck
you,
for your
mate.
fights coming up, and yeah, be sure to check him out in the next couple of weeks. Good luck again, mate.
Legend, lad. See you later.
Cheers, mate.